Hi everybody, Richard Tromers here again at Artificial Lawyer. We're doing another product walkthrough this week, and this time it's Callidus. To tell us a bit more about it is Anoop. Hey Anoop.
Thanks, Richard. Absolutely. So, hello, everyone. Anoop Singh, co-founder here at Callidus AI, and we support the company on go-to-market. The company was founded by Justin McCown and myself. Justin is a former practicing attorney and experienced the frustrations of how much time it takes to do tedious work in legal. Left practicing law because of that frustration, and actually got into the side of working with legal organizations to optimize their ability to be productive, optimize their speed to output. And then once ChatGPT came out, the light bulb went off as it has with so many others, that this is going to be game changing for the space. And we have a vision for, of course, making attorneys more productive, but also making this profession more rewarding by automating the tedious work and really allowing attorneys to expand their attention to much more strategic advisory, and also allow them to take on the increase in legal work that we think is going to be coming as this tedious work gets automated.
Awesome. Yeah.
So,
And we'll come back to the paradox later, but just briefly, and then we'll go straight into the walkthrough if you don't mind. You've already received around $2 million in funding, is that right?
that's right. We've had the good fortune of raising about $2.5 million. I think it's a little more than that. We have some great investors, AI Fund and Myriad, and along with some angel investors, professionals who we've known and then brought on board. They see the opportunity for, of course, the near term productivity enhancement, but what they really believe in is the broader vision of being able to take a breadth of context from attorneys and then being that incredible concierge and advisor that allows attorneys to really drive their attention on strategic advisory and making better overall client service.
Gotcha. Right. Well, I'll give you about 5-10 minutes to give us a bit of a product walkthrough, and I'll disappear and I'll come back at the end. Please take it away.
Thanks, Richard. Thank you. So when you come into the home screen, it's going to look and feel like a typical enterprise software tool, which is exactly what we're going for. We prioritize confidentiality, accuracy. We prioritize user experience. You have the option to sort of choose your own path with either litigation or transactional experiences, or you can come down to the Callidus concierge and just freeform type in what it is that you're looking to do, and it'll point you to the right way to go. Since I know how the tool works, I'm gonna go through my own path here. I'm going to start off with our biggest modules. One of the ones that we have that I don't believe anyone else has been able to do is our full research flow that ends in a actual document, an actual output. So here you begin with a fact pattern. This is a demo I've already uploaded. A couple of sentences. You provide some information on jurisdiction, which side you're on, and just like you would with a conversation with an attorney, it's going to generate questions. Say, okay, hey, you've given me some information. I have some questions I have to ask for you. None of this is preloaded. This is all generated entirely based on the input you provide. And from there, you go on this short journey to really get to a highly refined, high quality output. So first, of course, the broadest step is going to be areas of law and the causes of action. The Callidus tool is going to suggest what it believes are the correct ones based on the inputs you've provided it. And we very much believe in keeping the lawyer in the loop, the attorney in the loop. So all the way through here, you'll see the options to confirm or reject what Callidus suggests. You can see more. You can suggest your own if you want to refine. That's going to just go down this path that I already have set up. You go into the legal authorities, again, confirming or rejecting, seeing more if you'd like. From there, we're refining down into the legal questions that need to be analyzed. Callidus is generating all of these items itself. And then finally, you have the precedent. So pulling the most relevant cases for this fact pattern and for that drill down we've gone through. And we have an anti-hallucination engine that's proprietary. And then the final line of defense is everything here has links, as you can click on them and you can see for yourself the actual case, the actual legal authority, the actual statute itself. And once we've done this takes us to our results. But what's more interesting than the summary view is the actual output. So you see, you can get a legal brief, you can get a memo, and I'll show you here an example of a memo that came from something very similar fact pattern that I just showed you. It's going to be well organized, well formatted. There's citations. we come down to the analyses. It's going to show you the framework for it's using to evaluate legal questions and then produce a view on a likely interpretation by the law, how the law is going to look at this fact pattern. And so why this is powerful is a couple of reasons. One is this is anywhere from 1 to 5 days worth of work to do legal research on a question, on a fact pattern. And had we gone through this live, this can take an attorney perhaps 10 to 15 minutes. And so you have a incredibly high quality output that's gone from many, many hours at the very least, if not a couple days, into about 10, 15 minutes. And another reason it's powerful is I believe we are the only ones that can get you to an actual written output. So again, saving you a lot of time. Just imagine how much time it would take to write. This is 36 pages. Imagine how much time it would take to write 36 pages. That is part of that 10 to 15 minute workflow that you get. So that's what's really a game changer in the legal research space. Come in with a fact pattern, with a question, go through a guided flow where you are really seeing the AI's work and you're able to provide your input on whether you think this is going in the right direction or not, and then adjust it, and then get to that usable output you can take to court, you can take for internal conversation. This is the legal research, I think, a bit very unique in the market. I want to show you a second major item, which is called our compare contracts capability. And what this allows you to do is, without any upfront setup, and this is going into the transactional domain, I did a bit of a pivot here. Without any upfront setup, you're able to redline and analyze a document while referencing your internal template. You don't have to spend weeks uploading or figuring out what good looks like and creating playbooks. Here we've already gone in and uploaded 2 contracts. What it's coming out with, it took about a minute to do the processing. It's coming with a view on what the critical differences are between the two. It looks at the inventory of provisions and telling you which provisions exist in both, which provisions are missing in one, which provisions are missing in the other one. And then you come down to the work area where you see the 2 contracts side by side. And what we do is we will give you a prioritized view. You can see, okay, the preamble is 50% aligned, the confidentiality provision 80% aligned, 50% aligned here. And so you click on a provision, it's going to scroll to that provision in both contracts. You're not spending time hunting back and forth where these are. You see the issues to consider. And so we are telling you, suggesting, the Callidus platform is suggesting where you should be focusing on, what the gaps are. And then, of course, into the rewrite area, you're given some preloaded prompts, make it simpler, find middle ground, minimal edits. Let's make it simpler. And it's going to provide a red line here. While we're waiting on it, we have this unique capability of what is market for this provision and for this kind of contract, and how the 2 contracts deviate from market. And here you see the red line has come in, and I just asked it to make it simpler. So it's going to be shorter. I can go accept it, and then we can see here what that red line looks like. It's going to look like exactly what you think a red line looks like. And when we're done doing this for the entirety of the contract, we'll get a Word document with the correct red line formatting. And what's unique about this is we are coming to you with, hey, this is the suggested areas to focus based on how far apart they are, and we are suggesting through the AI the correct the red lines to make based on the kind of redlining you want to do, versus you as the attorney having to do that work yourself. Right? You're not having to read the contract and tell the tool what you want. The tool comes with the suggestions for you. Again, turning 1, 2, 3, 4 hours of contract review and redline into 5, 10, 15 minutes. A lot of productivity. This is our transactional piece. There's a lot more capabilities on transactional. I'm giving you a quick look at our most powerful one. I'm going to hop around to a couple more capabilities around this to round out the product overview. We have our general AI assistant that is a free form, very much like a concierge for you to answer questions. I'm going to give you one example of what you can do, which is, and this is again, you can take this in any direction you want to go. The example I'm going to give is, let's take a look at 2 documents. One is a 2-page LOI, and the other is a 60-page lease agreement. And what you can do there is say, understand, where does the final proposed agreement not match that LOI, right? Reading 60 pages, comparing it to 2 pages, this does that matching for you. It tells you where the proposed final agreement is off market. It's telling you where it's unfavorable to your client. It's giving you other critical items and a rewrite suggestion. So again, you're free form interacting with this chat experience to give you a view on an analysis of, and this is just very one specific use case, but this is sort of free form, however you would like to do this. You can ask questions, you can upload documents, you could query, you could summarize, etc. Let me pause there just before I go into our final two areas. Okay.
Yeah, it's incredible. There's so much there. You press on. Let's finish this, and then I've got a whole bunch of questions.
Sure. So the final two areas that are coming in the coming weeks, and this is going to be via demo video because they're in sort of beta right at the moment. The first I mentioned is the summarized documents. Here, upload a document or two and summarize them. We have a mass ingestion and discovery capability coming that allows you to summarize documents at scale. So showing in the video, this is in beta. It'll be launching soon. Here, you're going to come in and do discovery, which is exactly what you think it is. So you pop in a name, you will go search for documents on your computer, whether it's drag and drop or upload. And this can be thousands of documents. And you can imagine the time it would take to search for documents at that kind of scale. So once you've uploaded documents, I'm just going to fly around here a little bit. Once you've uploaded documents, what you can do is start interacting with it to query, okay, tell me, I need to look up stuff within those documents. So start peppering you with questions and getting answers. It'll, of course, show you the sources so you can confirm and go drill down into that trove of documents to figure out where that answer is, and you can validate it. And the benefit here is, one, it makes our legal research much more in-end, right? Because then you can go into documents to pull out facts and begin the research journey. It also allows for just very powerful contract review at a scale, right? You're not doing it one contract at a time. You can dive into multiple contracts, ask questions, do analyses, really figure out where things stand within an entire contract database. The last one I'm going to show you is this is also coming just pending approval, our Microsoft plugin. So you want to do proofreading within Microsoft, Microsoft Word, you can remain in that platform. And here what it's done is we'd asked the tool to just do a review of this document. So there's a couple different capabilities along with a free form, but this capability allows you to, instead of coming to our SaaS platform, you can stay within Word, work with contracts, and get that redlining experience that we're all used to seeing and working with within Microsoft.
Wow.
Okay, let me pause there.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Wow, that's I don't think I've ever seen a startup launch so many features all at once. Quite amazing. Okay, a whole bunch of questions, which we'll have to go fairly quickly through because obviously people watching this are time pressed. So let's start off. First of all, when did you start the company?
It's been about a year, so a little over a year. So
Just a
February
year.
of last year was when the company was incorporated.
Wow, amazing. In terms of the LLMs that you're using, which ones are you using?
Yeah, we're able to choose whichever ones are the best. This is all built in a way such that we can plug in at a module by module level into different LLMs, right? Because the different LLMs have different capabilities, whether it's reasoning capability, whether it's the token window, how much data they can ingest at once, whether it's speed. And so those capabilities have different sort of matches with the different modules. And then over time, the LLMs sort of get better at different paces, right? So we're able to plug into all the ones that you would know,
Right.
of course, ChatGPT, Llama, Gemini, etc.
Gotcha. Now, two key questions. Where are you getting the case law data from? Because obviously you're referring in the litigation part to some type of case law. What is that and where are you getting hold of it?
Yeah, so we, of course, unfortunately, in the US, all the law is public. So this is all connected through API or such as the Google Scholar. There's a couple of other sites that we do have access to. And then we have a partnership that allows us to get, not allows us, it gives us access to about 9 million, I think, or even more cases, so published and unpublished. So full coverage of federal, state, et cetera, law, and then just access to an enormous trove of case law, both published and unpublished.
So, okay, that's interesting because I'd always worked on the assumption that there's some parts of US case law that's not free, that does belong to somebody for various reasons.
That's for the partnership, and I'm not sure if I can say the name at the moment. So that's why I'm being a bit cautious
Um,
there. For the partnership, that was not free. We are engaging with a partner to get us that comprehensive view of case law.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And on the contracts, again, very interesting. If you're going to compare your own contract or a third-party contract to a model contract, where are the model contracts coming from? Are those meant to be your own that you have already, or are these other model contracts that have come from somewhere else?
It's a great question. So I showed you one way to redline. There's actually 2 or 3 different ways you can redline. So you can redline against the contract itself, right? Which I haven't shown you, but that is saying, let's just look at the favorability of this contract. Which party is it favoring, right? So there's no reference template you have to compare against. You can just pop into one contract and get a review of one contract. That's one example. The second one is which as I showed you here, is you can pop in a model contract, a gold standard, or reference template, and you can do that yourself. That's something you already have. Or what's very easy is you can just go elsewhere in our tool. You can go to our general AI assistant that I showed you and have it draft a model contract that's market terms, right? So you can either upload one yourself, that's drag and drop, takes 2 seconds, or take the extra 30 seconds and draft one that's a model contract exactly how you want it to be through our general AI assistant. And then so it's up to you. You can go either way. You don't need one if you do have one, and you just get access to these more powerful capabilities.
Okay, gotcha. Now, in the top left corner, and I'm not sure if viewers can see that, it'll look quite small on the screen, I imagine. There's a thing that says message credits. So is that how users pay for their use of it?
So users it's either monthly or annual. It's monthly. It's obviously annual for our enterprise users, and then those that sign up on our individual license on our website, it could be monthly or annual. And yes, as I'm sure your users or many of them are familiar with, there is a processing cost incurred with AI. So that's what the message credits there are for. For the most part, we have it set up where nearly all users remain just within the allotted credits, but you can always buy more for a small fee. There's no restriction on use in that sense.
Gotcha. And last thing, in terms of the kind of lawyers who are using this at the moment, I imagine you've got a few, early clients and so forth. I mean, who's been using this so far?
Yeah, and it's been an interesting journey because the typical profile has followed our release of our roadmap. So we really launched with our legal research. So that kicked off a many signups. I mean, in the thousands from smaller law firms, primarily generalist attorneys, litigators, et cetera. And then as we rolled out our contract redlining capability, and that got more powerful, then you started seeing more in-house attorneys come on board. So the profile today has leaned a little bit more towards firm, but I think we're seeing that mix shift over time as our releases stay in market for longer. Right now, we do have enterprise clients. They spend most of their time on the redline capability contract review. We're starting to get into some new customer bases with the discovery piece, because that starts to get beyond just you start to do some very interesting pieces of work with large ingestion and large contract analysis. So we're still in our evolutionary phase of who the users are, but they span the spectrum of attorneys.
And just one last thought. I guess this could be used in the UK, for example, and other countries. Obviously, you can't use the litigation one. It's not much use because that's all US case law. But the transactional one, particularly if you're using your own reference contracts, then you could use it, I presume. Or is it so trained on US English that it wouldn't work? I don't know.
No, that's right. So there is a translation capability in here, but one of our enterprise users, they're a European business. I don't believe they're UK and a big presence, but the European business, they primarily use the transactional capability. The other profile that enjoys the tool quite a bit is firms and organizations outside the US, but that support a lot of US work. For them, it's very powerful because especially on the research side, it's a great way to get this boost in capability of understanding US law, providing that great experience on US law. So yeah, right now, the litigation side, as you said, is focused on US, but we do have international customers that either do the transactional side or they do research supporting US work.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, that's all we have time for today, but thank you very much, and I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about Callidus in the future. So thanks a lot.
Thanks, Richard.